I'm going to discuss and demonstrate the difference between this and this. Slow tempos versus medium tempos versus up tempos. If you're ready, then let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to another lesson. My name, for those of you who are new, is Quincy Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. And hopefully you enjoy this lesson enough to press that like button, and I hope you will consider subscribing because I put out a lot of videos that I think you'll find helpful. All right, so I am talking about slow tempos versus medium tempos versus up tempos, and the mentality plus the technical kind of changes that occur, at least with me, when I'm playing all those different tempos. I'm going to break them down. I'll try to demonstrate everything, and let's just see where it takes us. All right, so for this tempo, this is a slow tempo, obviously. There can be slower tempos, but this is a medium slow tempo. Now, one thing about slow tempos is that you gotta learn to relax, right? And I guess that's true with all tempos, but the tendency with slow tempos is to rush. So make sure you're relaxed. Your whole body is comfortable. There's no tension anywhere. And you want to think about the fluidity. Now, as far as the feel, there's a couple different routes we can go. This is kind of the route I go as far as the feel I want to create. It's this. Da, 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 da. It's more of a true triplet that I'm using to base my skip beat or my non-emphasized beat of the ride pattern to base that off of, right? A 1, 2, a 3, 4, a 1, 2, a 3. Some people say, like Greg Hutchinson says, the dog, walk the dog, walk the dog, walk the dog. But you can place that the in different places. So you can go walk the dog, 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 walk the dog. You can do that, or you can treat it more as a true triplet, as I do. Walk the dog, walk the dog, walk the dog, walk the dog, walk the dog. Or you can really emphasize the skip note and maybe put a little accent on it. So it sounds like this is more of an Elvin kind of thing. Walk the dog, 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 walk the dog. And all of those work depending on the feel that you're going for. Another thing you have to consider is your comping, right? They go hand in hand. So you can't approach it one way here and then approach it differently here. So if we're approaching it with accenting the skip beat, I'm thinking more triplets, wide triplets, right? So now I'm emphasizing the offbeat or the skip note, and therefore in my left hand, my comping, I'm gonna bring out more of the triplets that help bring that skip note out, right? You hear it? And you can even bring it out in how you crash the cymbal. So you can use a shoulder crash to bring that skip note or the offbeat out a little bit more. And again, this is typical of Elvin Jones, right? So for this approach, you really have to feel comfortable playing triplets around the kit between your limbs and coordinating them with the feel of your ride cymbal. All right, this is a medium tempo. Medium up, I would say, right? And what I'm trying to do is make sure that we don't lose the forward momentum of the quarter note. So that's the quarter note. So the way I play my ride beat is like this. Right? As to not lose the weight of the quarter note. Typical of how Kenny Clark played his ride cymbal beat. Or Art Taylor, right? Like that. And you can practice it like that. You can practice it here. Right? And the faster we get, the more finite the space between quarter notes gets. Therefore, you have a little less wiggle room, so to speak, right? But, so this is one approach that I use personally and I gravitate towards. However, that's not the only approach, of course. And it's not the only approach that I use also. So, if we were to go more the Elvin Jones route, again, emphasizing the offbeat with the triplet or our skip note, what would that sound like? 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So that would be coupled with how I comp. So that would sound like this. You hear it? Right? You hear it? As opposed to this is more of a quarter note centric kind of beat. You hear the difference, right? But if I want to, if I play more triplets, my record player is skipping right now. No, this is my play-alongs. If you're interested, check it out. The link will be down below. Great for working on different tempos and improving your feel. So definitely check it out. That's a real bass player. That's no AI. Here we go. So, triplets. Right? And more of a quarter note centric beat. So therefore, my comping has to fall in line with where I'm placing my skip beat here. So as opposed to the back side of the beat, in between the beats, in my comping, suddenly, so all my off beats in my left hand have to line up with that. You hear the difference? You hear that? As opposed to, that's more of the triplet, laid back kind of approach. And this is more of an upright, forward momentum, quarter note centric beat. And there's, like I said, there's less wiggle room in between the beats at that faster tempo. Therefore, you have to be more precise with where you place those off beats in the left hand. As you, of course, have to be precise where you place them in the ride cymbal as well. All right, so this is very different. So as I said before, with the slow tempos, it's very important at the faster tempos also to relax, right? If it's a fast moving, if it's up tempo like this, then you want to think slower, right? The slower you think, the more relaxed you'll be. If you're thinking beat, 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 then you're going to be tense. So try to find that calm in this tempo. Try to think slower. At a slow tempo, I try to think faster, actually, so I can hear all the subdivisions. But I'm still relaxed. Anyway, so the difference, though, with this up tempo, because it's moving so fast, I can't bring out every quarter note with my beat. It would sound very staccato, and it would lack the fluidity of approaching it this way, which I'm going to show you, which is emphasizing 2 and 4. Now, it's not an accent on 2 and 4, but we're focusing on a beat that is, it's like one stroke that has 3 notes. And if you look at my up-tempo video, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I break it down a little more in more detail. But so now, as opposed to focusing on every quarter note, now I'm just focusing on one stroke. And I'm just throwing the stick on 2 and 4. And also you'll notice that the beat is a lot straighter than at slower tempos because, again, the space in between beats is much more finite, especially at this faster tempo, okay? So it's straighter, and if we were to listen to it on a dry surface, it would sound like this. And I encourage you to work on it on a dry surface like this. You can also do it on the hi-hat. So you can hear it. There's like, it's almost like a built-in accent into 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I feel like I'm in the military or something. Although I don't think they would be marching to this. So that's one difference in the ride cymbal. In general, the mentality is different also because suddenly instead of thinking about swinging in my ideas, solo ideas, I'm thinking more of the straight eighth kind of thing. So it might sound more like this. See, that's very straight. I'm not really thinking about trying to swing it. If I try to swing it, it'll sound like this. And I think you can hear that doesn't sound great. Maybe some of you like it. I don't. And that leads to the idea of playing more straight overall, and it leads to more of a modern approach to playing, right? So, and I think of drummers like Roy Haynes and Jackie Nett. So you can almost access similar ideas as if you were playing funk. So I can play all those same ideas, and it's going to fit the context. It's a matter of making it sound good in a jazz context, right? So. You hear it? You hear it? You hear it? I hope you do. So those are the main differences between all the different tempos. Of course, there's a lot more detail that you can get into, but I just wanted to give you an idea of how I think of all those different tempos and all the different options that I think about at those tempos. So I hope this was helpful and gives you some things to think about when you're playing all these different tempos. So until the next time, though, you know what to do. Practice hard, but practice smart. Take care. Peace.